Good afternoon. I'd like to discuss today reformed regulations regarding firearms. I really think it's very necessary in today's society with so many shootings, mass shootings, school shootings, home shootings, it doesn't matter. Society today needs gun reform laws in place in order for us to be healthy, safe, and secure in our communities, our homes, our churches, and our schools. More than 600 people daily die because of a firearm violence. Gun violence is a problem in America, and there's a lot of people who seem to think that because the Second Amendment gives us the right to bear arms, that we should all be able to purchase them whenever we want, wherever we are, and so on and so forth. This is not the case. There are age requirements. There are laws about how to handle a gun, where to buy a gun. Federal law requires background checks. Some states have stricter rules than others, some do not. But we need to have more. Did you know that before the assassinations of Robert Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, and even Martin Luther King, there was no regulation regarding the background check to begin with? And this is not long ago. It's not even 60 years ago. I know people would like to advocate that we all should be able to purchase guns. Well, it's like driving. We all should be able to drive a car. We all need to learn how to drive a car. We all need to check in. We all need to have a license. Which is why I came up with this idea. Driver's license. Why not have a gun license? You automatically go in anyway. You have to have a permit to purchase a gun anyway. They're going to give you a background check anyway. Why not have a license? So that you have a last known address, whether they're a citizen. Obviously a criminal background check. But also a mental. And what about education? There should be a test. Can you pass this test? And maybe renewed every few years. Why? Because my mental state right now might be great. I cannot have a record. But guess what? 4 years, 5 years, 8 years from now, that might not be the case. I might not be. I might be too old. I might be too young. So, excuse me. My point is, we really need to take a closer look at the laws that we have in place and consider for once others. If you go back and look and take example for the state of Tennessee, they're on it. Totally different from the federal law. Did you know that you don't even need a permit at all to have a long gun? In Tennessee, you have to be 21 to purchase a gun from a licensed dealer. But that doesn't mean you can't purchase them in private. There should be a regulation for that. I should be able to buy a gun and not sell it to Tom, Dick, and Harry without reporting it. There's also a no waiting period in Tennessee, not like California or Florida, where there's more private checks. Enhanced handgun carry permits for people under 21. We should check and see if they're permanent residents, or are they U.S. citizens, or are they just here on a foreign visa. Those things are important. Crimes happen every day. Crimes are not going to stop, but if we can diminish even just for a moment, instead of 600, 400, 200, any life that can be saved, or reduce the risk of having some child have a school shooting, we should do the very best for them. I believe that my idea of having a driver's license, aka firearm license, is a great idea. It implements all the rules that are in place, adds more control checks. You could even do a mental check. This way, when you know that that person has a gun in his hand, you know he's passed those tests. You know we've done our due diligence. We've provided the best possible check prior to that purchase. We should hold private sales accountable. They should be registered, just like anybody else. There should be a registry of every gun sold. Not because we want government to check on how many or who has what. It's not about how many you have. It's about who has it. What if it gets stolen? Well, now you've registered that gun. It can be found. If it's used, it's not on you because you reported it. How many times do people lose a gun because they're broken into their car? How many times do we have issues with a child who's taking a gun from their parent? We need to hold accountability. It's not about whether you can use a gun or have the right to bear an arm. We all have that right. We all have the right to vote. Doesn't mean we all do it. We all have the right to drive a car, but there's checks and balances. We all have a right to have a freedom of democracy, but there's a check and balance for the president. There should be a check and balance for guns as well. I truly believe that this is a great idea if we implement it. What better way for us to make sure everybody can purchase a gun properly, while still putting in checks to make sure that those that are not capable or stable, or perhaps were at one point and are now too old, they don't see well, or their mental state has changed, or sadly there's a criminal issue or a background. Having those checks and balances in place can ensure that at least we've provided enough care to go into these regulations so that we can protect those around us. Communities, schools, churches, all of us need to stand together and make it a better place. Yes, we have rights, but we do have to have checks. Thank you.